Now to politics. Negotiations for a new political coalition aimed at challenging the ruling All Progressives Congress in the 2027 elections are nearing completion. This was confirmed by Salihu Lukman, a former APC vice chairman in the Northwest, who revealed in a statement on Monday that consultations are in an advanced stage, but no final decisions have been made. Lukman's comments follow last week's remarks by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who, during a press conference on the state of emergency in Rivers State, announced plans to form a coalition of opposition parties to unseat the APC in the next election. Lukman assured that once the discussions are concluded, a formal announcement will be made outlining membership composition, programs of actions, and the framework for contesting the 2027 elections. And joining us from Abuja is Peter Ameh, Secretary of the Coalition of United Political Parties and a member of the opposition. Mr. Ameh, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, that's very good. Now, everything we've seen in the past 1 week is something many probably saw coming. What exactly is the opposition coalition about? Mr. Ameh, I think your device might be muted. You might want to check that button.
Okay, I've done that.
Good.
I said this is a coalition about personality at the moment. You know, there are different kind of coalition. You have alliance, you have coalition of political parties, you have merger, you have all these other categories of the kind of cooperation that can happen within the ranks of the opposition to be able to put them in a strong pool to defeat the ruling government. But what is happening at the moment is a coalition of personality. Even the one that the APC did, people always say, oh, why not do it like the APC? Because APC did their own in their own way. Does not make the same, you know, other people must follow the same process. The challenge that the APC even had is because they had people like Rochas Okorocha, who was coming from Abuja. He did not come into that coalition with his political party. Because Abuja disagreed with the formation of the coalition, of the merger of the APC. So he came as a personality, as a sitting governor, or as at then. So, but in this current situation, there are a lot of, you have opposition leaders that are coming to agree that we need to put our forces together and put ourselves together in order to be able to have upper hand against the APC. But what other people have said is that there are other means by which this government can also be defeated. Because as we speak today, the hunger on the street is even more of a bigger opposition to the APC than what we have. But I know that what the opposition leaders are doing and what we collectively are interested in is how to be able to have a coalition that works with the interests of the people, that works in delivering the objective of the Constitution in providing a secure and harmonious living space for every citizen of this country. It is not a coalition. A lot of people will not be part of it. Peter B. have said it, that he won't be part of a coalition that is just meant for power grab. I also believe that should be the same. It shouldn't be about grabbing power and not knowing what to do with it. This coalition must have the kind of establishment and the kind of intentions that it only has to do with the betterment of the Nigerian people.
So, Mr. Ameh, how confident are you moving into 2027 with the big names, the big money, and also the SDP as a vehicle? What's your confidence level like?
There's nobody that has chosen the SDP as a vehicle. But if that is a speculation by the party, is out of it. SDP will be part of the coalition members if they come on the table. But there's nobody who have chosen that. And even the Lukman who just spoke, if you know his reaction to that of when El-Rufai joined the SDP, he said it was a hasty decision. That it was a hasty decision that was not collectively taken. So I believe in the times to come, very short, within the shortest possible time, the coalition members and those who are interested in trying to make sure we form a formidable ground that is not, that is not dependent on certain factors that will, negate the principles of liberal democracy. Then we may be able to sit down and then define which direction, which party will be the one that will bear the umbrella of the coalition. But as it speaks, I'm very confident by 2027. You can see this government, the problem we have in Nigeria, we don't have data for rating of government that will be very accurate. But if you look at voice populi, the kind of voice, if you go to the street and speak to every ordinary man on the street, you know, even the 30 days run challenge that is going on, you know that this government is the most unpopular government in the history of our fourth republic. It's very unpopular because of the impromptu policy decisions that have, you know, put our people in poverty, and yet the government is not taking steps to correct that. So I think the position is more in a very big, in an advantageous position to be able to take government come 2027, because the greatest challenge to this government is the hunger on the street. The greatest challenge to this government is inability to be able to secure farmers in their farm. The greatest challenge to this government is inability to be able to secure Nigerians traveling on the roads. You know, the greatest challenge to this government is inability to secure people from in their community from paying taxes to bandits. So I think we are in a very good position to take over this government.
So
2027.
I'm going to ask definitively, how can any opposition or coalition actually upstage this government? If you say Vox Populi, then let's take note of what the argument is regarding the state of emergency in Rivers State. Is that enough to upstage this current government in 2027?
You look at the condemnation that is coming from all walks of life. The interest that played out in Rivers State is the interest of the president. It's not the interest and the fear that whatever will happen in Rivers State, they want to take control of it. What has happened in Rivers State has even put the president in a more disadvantageous position when it comes to, you know, allowing people coming to vote for his interest, because you cannot upstage any authority, elected authority within a particular, you know, we run a federating unit. And in a federating unit, you have federating, we have a federal democracy, and you have a federating unit. Each of these states are federal unit of a federation. You cannot just, an elected governor, you use your own authority because you have in position, you use apparatus of state to remove them from office. How do you expect people in that state to feel? So I think that, and you know, when you win elections in Nigeria, you cannot take away Kano, take away Rivers, and take away Lagos. And for now, I believe opposition are in control of this state, and it will be easier to be able to use whatever undemocratic means that the president has applied, you know, in removing elected officials in Rivers State as a yardstick to develop more robust opposition within the state and make sure that the electorate in that state see the reason why they must be able to go for Democrats, and people who believe in the principle of separation, who believe in the principle of having independence of the state from the national and devolving more power to the state. And in this regard, it is easier to say that when the election comes, that the opposition will defeat the ruling government in 2027.
So I'm assuming that you're saying this coalition is a refreshing look at politics in Nigeria. But how can an Atiku-led coalition comprising of El Rufai and many other known names already in politics currently present itself as a breath of fresh air?
There are a lot of breath. I know you avoided not calling Peter Obi. You've not called a lot of other people. Paso is in the opposition. Peter is in the opposition. So all these other people that are in the opposition, they're also breath of fresh air. And you know that for a lot of us, I am among those who is canvassing that whatever the opposition will do, they must make sure that the South complete their tenure. Yes, we have an unwritten agreement about how to manage the affairs of this country that has not been properly established. But for now, the power is in the South, and the opposition, for us to defeat President Tinubu, we must be able to do what we need to do that is necessary to be able to create a consensus that will carry the other part of this country along, so that they will know that we are people who are built on, you know, on fairness, on equity, and equality. So in this regard, there are more young people, there are fresh people within the coalition that will be able to lead the coalition, but you cannot do without the old guards in this game. You can't do without those who have participated a long time. There are people who have been in this game that will also be part of the strength of the opposition that we are going to pull. Atiku was part of the APC, Zerifai was part of the APC. APC rejoiced when they supported them to victory. So any assistance that can be brought to bear on the strength of the coalition to be able to do what is necessary to save our country from imminent collapse, it is a welcome development, and we will do it jointly to be able to save our country from this level of lack of service to the people.
Mr. Peter Ameh, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.